Translation and purport. First, I'll read text 15, then 16. Sakadachit sarasvatya upasprishya jalam shuchihi vivikta eka asina udite ravi mandale. Translation. Once upon a time, he, Vyasadeva, as the sun rose, took his morning ablution in the waters of the Saraswati and sat alone to concentrate. Purport. The river Saraswati is flowing in the Badrikashram area of the Himalayas. So the place indicated here is Shamya Pras in Badrikashram, where Sri Vyasadeva is residing. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaura Vani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschate Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasani Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sakadachit Sarasvatya Upasprishya Jalam Shushi Vivikta Eka Asina Udite Ravi Mandale. Once upon a time, he, Vyasadeva, as the sun rose, took his morning ablution in the waters of the Saraswati and sat alone to concentrate. This is referring to Vyasa's residence, Badrikashram, which is still there. There's a cave known as Vyasa Guha, where people visit. It's mentioned here also about Saraswati, that the river is no longer there, or it's flowing underground. It's intimately related with the Veda. Later in another verse it says, this river is intimately related with the Vedas. Here in the morning it says that in the morning he woke up and performed his ablution and began to concentrate, sat alone to concentrate. If we see even the Vedic system of education, the morning hours are very important for acquiring of knowledge. We know that the guna is different throughout the day. So in the morning hours, there are all sorts of like studies and discussions used to take place. And sometimes it's very difficult to wake up. If you speak, we sleep very late. But somehow Srila Prabhupada said that this morning hours are so important that we have to do the morning program in some form. Maybe not in the, sometime not possible how we do it. If it's possible, okay, the full way. Because this time, the possibility of changing our consciousness is much more. Especially if we see our life, we have a limited number of mornings. So we have that opportunity at those limited times to use that for our spiritual advancement. So sometimes it's difficult, but we do that. And also for all spiritual activities, these mornings are very useful for learning, discussion, writing, like that. So here it says that Vyasadeva as the sun rose, took his morning ablution and sat alone to concentrate. Okay, now in the next verse, he concentrated. What did he see? It's mentioned in the next verse. Paravara gya sa rishihi kalena avyakta ranghasa yugadharma vyatikaram praptam bhuvi yuge yuge. The great sage Vyasadeva saw anomalies in the duties of the millennium. This happens on the earth in different ages due to unseen forces in the course of time. In the purport, Prabhupada writes, the great sages like Vyasadeva are liberated souls. Therefore, they can see clearly past and future. Thus, he could see the future anomalies in Kali Yuga. And accordingly, he made arrangement for the people in general so that they can execute a progressive life in this age, which is full of darkness. The people in general in the age of Kali are too much interested in matter, which is temporary. Because of ignorance, they are unable to evaluate the assets of life and be enlightened in spiritual knowledge. Vyasadeva sat in concentration and he could see it says here, anomalies. Kalena vyakta ranghasa yuga dharma vyatikaram, anomalies, some not normal state. The normal state is that there's a purpose to this material world, that the living entities have come for sense enjoyment. Okay, but they should follow the Vedic instructions and gradually elevate themselves to higher positions and get liberation. That's the purpose. It was Saha Yagya Praja Sishtva Puro Vacha Prajapati. The Prajapati from Acharyas, that verse refers to Brahma. So when Brahma manifested the living entities, the bodies, then the living entities came in, who were from the previous day of Brahma. So they came in to begin executing their activities. At the same time, Saha Yagya, Saha, together, he also brought Yagya. So Yagya has to be performed. But the living entities, when they don't perform Yagya, this is anomaly. It's not something which is normal. So in the course of event, they're just living in this world and then taking birth as cats and dogs in the next life. So this is not normal. So Vyasadeva, he could see that. Why could he see it? Living entities, for us normally, there's a hierarchy of our senses. We have body, then senses, then mind and intelligence. What is that? Indriyani paranyahur, indriyabhya param mana, manasastu parabuddhi, yobhude paratastu sa. So we, soul, uses intelligence, then we have mind and senses. So we use these to get our knowledge and everything. But most of for conditioned souls who are in Maya, the mind is being taken over by Maya. And intelligence, we cannot use them. They are not available for use because they'll misguide us. They'll guide us to ignorance. Maya is taken hold. So we use the senses, we use the mind and intelligence of liberated souls. So a personality like Vyasadeva, that hierarchy that we see, it ends in, or begins with, the Paramatma on top of the Atma. Paramatma uses the senses and mind intelligence of the liberated soul for his work. But we all have our plan, so Krishna is not interfering. We have a plan, our own plan. Then, okay, execute the plan, your plan. But if we say, no, Krishna, I want your plan, or Sri Guru's plan. So in that case, he will use us for the plan. We'll be used as instruments. Where he says there, Maya veta nihatam purvameva. Krishna says to Arjuna, nimata matram bhava. That I have already killed these people. You just become an instrument. Krishna decided that these people on the battlefield should die. So he told Arjuna, you just become an instrument to make it happen, but it will happen. So one who is liberated, the super soul, Krishna in the form of super soul, uses and gives him perfect intelligence, and in his mind puts the thoughts that are needed and to guide him for his service. So Vyasadeva is liberated. When he sat down in meditation, he could see the future, past, present and future. So he saw that in the age of Kali, how there's going to be so much destruction and anomalies in the course of the duties. So now it says here, this happens on the earth in different ages due to unseen forces of time. So effect of time is like that. The time factor is what we are all under. We are, in what way? You see, we are living this life, and at a certain time, certain things will happen to us. They must happen. We are under these forces. what will happen, we can know that. We have some of us have that karma to be in a situation where we can foresee in the form of our birth chart what will happen. But we are all under time, the wheel of time. If you see, they say the wheel of time. A wheel goes around, and this point, it will go round. It must go round. It cannot leave the wheel. It must go round. So we are in this wheel of time where we are born and we're going to die, and then be born and die like that. And we must go through certain experiences, which we have to. So liberated souls, they have the vision to see what will happen. They can see. Bhakti-Chandra Saraswati Thakur, it's mentioned in his biography. He mentioned to one of his disciples, Agun Jwalibe, Bengali, something like that. There will be fire. He was referring to Gaudiya Math later. Later on, what will happen? There will be fire. He saw, he knew. He built up that great institution, and he laid down everything, but he knew what will happen. They could see. Srila Prabhupada, everyone could see. And but still they did their duty. They had their plan. It was for some great purpose that he came and set up everything. The time factor, because we have certain plans to execute. At the same time, we have to suffer reactions of whatever we've done in the past. So those actions, they will take place at a certain time. And as I mentioned, that especially in Vedic culture, they have this advanced system where people can see that, okay, we'll go through this time, that time, it will be a bad time. Be ready. One of my relatives found out, at this time, there's a great possibility of you losing money. But then the astrologer said, but if you keep it in government assets and government, it will not, some adjustment, but it won't go so much, but it will go. So that's a higher, you can say, privilege given. People who are pious, they can see further. So that way, that also we can see in that way also, that we are seeing the future of our life. But here Vyasadeva is not only seeing this kind of future, he is seeing future way into the thousands of years. Even that we can see through what I understood, that the future predictive method of Vedic astrology is greater than Western or Greek astrology, because they have knowledge of nakshatra, moon signs, and moon signs are supposed to be delivering the karma which we are meant to suffer. So in that way, they predict the future of countries and societies also. Just one personality, he's saying, somehow he's seeing the chart and seeing that Hinduism will be very strong in future. They're saying, how is that? Actually, it's our Sanatana Dharma, Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement will spread and take over. They cannot see that. We know, but he sees that. So anyway, here Vyasadeva is seeing the future. He's got that power to see the future. Trikalagya. Shastra, Guru, sadhus can see the future. Brahmanic, if they're pure. Of course, I mean, I'm saying that because we have levels. Gurus, they are levels. Sadhus also. So to the extent one is fully under, and it's difficult topic to explain, and but Guru Tattva is there, that to the extent that somebody is, actually I better not say if I don't know. So anyway, just to say this point, that Guru, Sadhu, Shastra are all knowing. So through them, one has to surrender and see through their eyes. Chanakya Pandit has said that cow sees through the nose, dog sees through ears, normal people see through their eyes, Brahmana sees through Shastra. Through Shastra we are seeing. In that case we get perfect vision. What did Vyasadeva see? He saw in the age of Kali that according to the arrangement for people in general, there will be anomalies. People will be too much interested in matter, material things. Can we see that now? How many factories have been set up and places for producing material things? Prabhupada said many times that we are making so many factories to produce nuts and bolts. Tell them about something is on the fire. We are making factories to produce nuts and bolts, nuts, cars, and all sorts of material things. But Prabhupada said we cannot eat that. We cannot eat that. If supposing there's a big famine, what will happen? There's no food. Actually, that is happening now. There's shortage of grain, and so the price is so high. Previously, all the land was used for growing grain. That is a necessity. But this is not necessity. So many material things have come now. Then the question will come, then why are you Hare Krishnas using YouTube and phones and camera? And then Prabhupada answered, just like the axe cutter uses a wooden axe to cut a tree, so we're using these devices to end this civilization. So this civilization, they're so much enamored by matter. Colors, lights, and devices giving nice sound, picture, like phone ringing, giving color, such a nice sound. People are, very much taken by that. But it's temporary, and it has no effect on our there's no help to our spiritual advancement. So, not only that, but it's binding us further to this material world. Anything we are attracted to matter and to this material world binds us further. So, interesting how Prabhupada put it, because in the verse in the Bhagavatam, they're just saying like this, Vyasadeva saw anomalies in the duties of the millennium. Prabhupada, being Acharya and taking dictation directly from Krishna, has written what Vyasadeva saw more deeply. He saw that in this Kali Yuga, people are too much enamored by iPhones and these watches and what else will come, let's see. Cars, scooters, so many things. And so being so much enamored by this, their attention has gone from the real thing. We are meant to spend our day and time getting self-realization. Such a valuable time. Tadapi arthadam, anityam tadapi arthadam. Anityam api arthadam. The human form of life is so valuable that I can use it to get liberation. The dog cannot, the cat cannot, this mosquito cannot do that. They are bound to do certain things according to their body and karma. But the human form, the opportunity is given, and the Vedas were given, but it's not being used. Instead, people are spending so many hours doing things, working hard for things to get money, to buy things which they don't need, and which will bind them further. This civilization is completely flawed. It is misdirected. There's a direction for everything, isn't it? It should be. Burning. There's a direction for everything. Like for studying, what is the direction? Well, now it's to get a job. It used to be that the direction of study is to become enlightened. So this civilization has a direction. Should be, Vedic civilization is directed towards self-realization. But this civilization is misdirected because everyone is going to Yamlok, basically. To put it simply, we are all going to another destination because it's directed to sense gratification. So Vyasadeva saw that, and accordingly he compiled the book Bhagavatam, and later it's explained that Yasyam Shruyamanayam Krishna Parama Purushe Bhaktirut Padyate Pumsam Shokamoya Bhayapaha. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Yasyam Shruyamanayam Krishna Parama Purushe, one gets bhakti. So we get bhakti. So what will we do with bhakti? Question of that is not fitting in my life. What will I do with bhakti? But then it's mentioned. Bhakti that actually the suffering of the living entity is due to here it is. See, in future verse, it's explained that the anartha, that things that we are suffering from are anarthas. We have so many desires which are disturbing us, but we cannot avoid them. Lust, envy, anger, greed, delusion. So these anarthas, anartha upashamam, they can be destroyed. How? Anartha upashamam sakshat bhakti yogam dhokshate. By the process of bhakti, we can destroy these anarthas and the suffering condition and the miseries. Lokasya ajanata, but people don't know this. Vidvams chakre sattva samhitam. Therefore, Vyasadeva compiled Bhagavatam. Now, he saw in the age of Kali that people are so much engaged, working hard for things which they don't need, and the valuable time and energy of the man. You see, we have limited energy. Supposing I have energy, what will I do with it? Supposing in the scooter we have some fuel, what will we do? People will use the fuel for maybe whatever for some sense gratification. Or someone will say, we have fuel, let me go to the temple, or let me do some spiritual purpose. Similarly, this body is not eternal. We have certain amount of time. We have certain amount of mornings. This morning, we are sitting. But the amount of mornings we have, 365 days in a year, and number of years. But we have fixed number of, say, Bhagavatam classes that we will sit in before we change this body. So in those mornings, we have to transform our consciousness. So we have limited time and energy also. You see, now we all have energy. But there'll be a time when we'll not be able to sit down, we'll not be able to be awake, we'll not be able to eat. That time is not far for all of us. Even time is an illusion because we are thinking there is time, there is no time. Time is an illusion. When you come to the end, you realize it was just yesterday. And it's an illusion in the sense you'll think, but I have time to be Krishna conscious. Now I'll take it easy. So in that sense also it's illusion. So we have limited energy, limited time. With that, we have to become Krishna conscious. In this limited time and energy. This limited. So now, what is the big mess in this modern civilization? That the energy of youth and that force and vigor is being used for so many things which are not having any sense. So much energy goes in sports. So much energy goes in studying things and acquiring knowledge which we don't need, we will not use. In this civilization, whole of the youth goes in colleges and schools. And what is the benefit? If there's a benefit, okay, but there is no benefit. What will happen? We'll get some knowledge, we'll get some job, and we'll get some, but people think now, but if I don't study, I'll not get money. And what about degree? What about college? What about getting? But Shastra tells us that if we find some occupation, and we cannot be idle, we should do some occupation, peacefully do our occupation, then what is our karma will come. Tasya hetu pratyeta kuvida na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyada talabhyate sukhavat anyata dukham sarvata kalina gabira rankasa. Narad Muni has said that tasya labhate, that therefore one should endeavor for that which he will not get automatically, because automatically we get happiness, sadness, and whatever is due, our food and everything, that we'll get. Prabhupada said, animals are getting that. They didn't do degrees, they didn't study diplomas, but they're getting their food. Some animals are, in past life, people, they also undergo certain conditions. Like someone will be born in this situation and that, an animal, and starve to death, as they might have done. So in that way, animals may not be eating. But generally speaking, animals are eating. Even the mosquito is getting its food. Everyone's getting their food. So that we will get. We don't have to think about that. But what are we not getting? Nan labhyate yad brahmatam. That which we are not getting, we should endeavor for that. What don't we get? The knowledge of God, knowledge of self-realization. That we do not get automatically. Nan labhyate yad brahmatam upariyada. We are going up and down, taking birth in different planets, different species, but we're not going to get spiritual realization. That we have to endeavor for. Don't endeavor so much for material sense gratification. And people endeavor hard because they think we want to get more. We want to get more money, but they'll not. Whatever is in our destiny, we'll get it. And what's not, we will not get. So this is a misdirected civilization. And because of this, the energy and time, so much of the youth energy goes in wrong things. Rather, if that energy is used to advance spiritually, especially at a young age, then that is of great benefit to us. Eternal benefit. Eternal benefit means spiritual advancement. That is eternal. That makes sense. But we do not see that. People do not see. Why? Because of ignorance, they are unable to evaluate the assets of life and be enlightened in spiritual life. People cannot have vision to see. And why is that? Prabhupada explains. Because of too much sense gratification, our knowledge is covered. Our spiritual intelligence is covered, and we cannot have sense to see something. A small book of Prabhupada, you read it and things are being exposed to us which we could not see. It's right there in this life. We are living life. That one day we are going to die. We don't think like that. Prabhupada, oh yes, I am going to die. So what will happen after that? Yeah, what will happen? Never thought of that. But not only us, big philosophers, scientists, no one is thinking. And people are not seeing how they're being cheated by, say, scientists, philosophers. Prabhupada points that out in Life Comes From many books. But we could not see it. We didn't have vision. Why? Prabhupada explains, because of excess sense gratification, it has caused avidya. We get covered. What covers us? Avritam jnanam etina jnanuna nitya vairina. Our eternal enemy covers our knowledge. Kama rupena konteya dushpirena nalena cha. Lust. So lust covers our knowledge. Now this whole human civilization, they're not seeing that they're going to death. They're not seeing that that which we are struggling hard, animals are getting it. Do we really have to have a civilization like this? They're clearing the farmlands and building factories. We went recently to Vrindavan. We saw all Vrindavan farmlands are being covered up. So bad. We went into the rural parts. People have bought up land. All where we used to see farms, you see borders. People not yet put build the buildings. But there's no sense in that. Now why? Why are they doing this? But people cannot see that. Their vision is covered. These people mostly coming from Delhi and other places, buying the land. So, as we said, that because of excess lust, people cannot see. And so, they have to be enlightened in spiritual knowledge. Vyasadeva saw this. And in seeing this, then he compiled the Bhagavatam. So when we go to people, first thing we have to tell them is that you are suffering. First, Prabhupada does this also, because they cannot even see their suffering. That's the problem. So our first part of the lecture is to explain them how you are suffering. They can't see they are suffering. Dog cannot see. Humans who are covered in Maya also cannot see their suffering. They think it's fun, but it's not. And for example, Prabhupada pointed out, which probably no one is seeing at all, is that analogy of the camel having thorns. The Prabhupada explains that, you see, in the desert there are many camels live in the desert, but what do they eat? What is in the desert? Cactus. What will they eat? There's no trees or plants. So the cactus has water inside and some nutrients, but then there are thorns outside. So the camel eats the cactus, but then there are thorns, so bleeds. The mouth, he bleeds. When he bleeds, the blood mixes with the cactus, what he's eating, and he's thinking, this tastes nice. It's his own blood he's eating. Then he swallows that. And he's thinking, it is a good taste. So Prabhupada explains that sex desire. We are drinking our own blood. We want to enjoy it, but actually what's happening, that the essence of the human body, male body, even female. Anyway, we're talking about males now. So, essence of male body, intelligence, memory, physical strength, so many things. And under intelligence comes different things like vivek, discrimination. Then comes memory, and a few things are there. So the essence of these, even health and longevity, is semen. And that semen is limited. It's very difficult to get. Actually, that semen is pervading here, everywhere, that energy, that prana. So what we do is we eat. But if we eat 1 kilo of food, the semen is very little. And that becomes in the blood. So then the body takes out that part. And when that increases, then intelligence, memory, longevity, health, everything is maintained. When it leaves the body, it goes. These things go. So now, human civilization, we're being taught from young age to expel the semen. It's unfortunate. I mean, I remember, you may remember that when this current Prime Minister first came in power, within the first week, he said we have to ban pornography. And everyone protested, they went to Supreme Court for that. What idiots. How stupid. Crimes are happening now against women. This is because of these things. Excess lust so much. So he tried to ban it. And these really demonic people, what they did, they said, and then the Supreme Court says, okay, you have to outline which ones you want to burn. He outlined it, then they published it, and then everyone went online. So anyway, the Prabhupada used that analogy of the camel to show that, look, people are thinking they're enjoying sex, but what's happening? They're losing their blood, they're losing their essence. This is going. Then comes disease and mental issues and so many issues. But civilization, they're being taught like this from young age. From age of, they go to college and school. Okay, you have brought up in a good family. Okay, go to school. Then you get messed up. Oh, you school, it was okay. Okay, go to college. Then college you'll be messed up. Otherwise, if you manage to pass all of that, then don't worry, you have your phone. That will mess you up. So it's so unfortunate. So now, they cannot see, no? People cannot see this. Even medical people who know medical science, they cannot see this. So Srila Prabhupada had to, Acharya had to show us, you cannot see these things. This is the thing. So now, civilization is creating so many problems due to not following Shastra, arranging our situation. And Prabhupada explains that this mixing of men and women at young age is boys and girls. This is the thing that is damaging so many things. So this is an example how Srila Prabhupada Acharya has seen this thing, which great so-called philosophers and scientists and medical people could not see this thing. People think, actually, Chanakya Pandit says, let's look in a different way. Srila Prabhupada, when he got married, he was not happy with his wife. So he was looking for another wife. Then his father said, no, it's better for you that you don't like your wife and you're not so much attracted. Was it his father? Yeah, it was his father. He said that. It's better that way. That way you can nicely focus on spiritual. So here they think it's a good fortune if somehow you get a very beautiful wife, but actual reality, it's not such a good idea. Well, better not to have any wife, according to Bhagavatam, some verses. But then if someone's going to marry and you think, okay, the marriage means you get a beautiful wife. No, then you'll expel more semen, then you'll not be able to get self-realization. Then it's a danger for you to realize that goal of life. So you see, this vision Prabhupada is given. Acharyas will give this vision. Vyasadeva in meditation, he saw things which we cannot see. So we have to learn one thing, and this is the first thing to learn, that we have to take shelter of Acharyas and their opinion and that Shastra. If Shastra is saying women should not be independent, which is mentioned by Prabhupada in so many places, women should not be independent. They should be under father or husband or grown-up sons. There's a reason, and if we are saying, no, we won't follow that, they'll become independent. equality. It's difficult. Why are you controlling them like slaves? And Prabhupada's not like slaves, like children. Children should not be left alone, but they're not slaves. Now Shastra is saying that, and we don't want to follow that for whatever reason. So then we must suffer, because there'll be consequences. There's a saying in English, don't remove the fence if you don't know why it's there. If you go in a village or somewhere, you see fence, who put the fence here? Remove it, remove it. Then you see a bull coming to you full speed to hit you. You don't know why the fence was there, better leave it. There's a reason. We don't know why women have to be in that situation. Shastra knows, it's telling us. So that's the thing to follow. So who knows this? Acharyas know. We should take shelter of Acharyas. Acharyavan Purusha Veda, Prabhupada says. One who has an Acharya, or one who has taken shelter of an Acharya, he knows knowledge. Acharyavan Purusha Veda. So first thing we have to teach people is your suffering. They don't know. You know, okay, they got it, okay. Second thing, don't use your senses. Come to Shastra. This was axiomatic before. Now it's not. We have to teach it. So we have to teach. And then once they come to Shastra and accept, then it's all success. Tasmad Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vavastito. Krishna tells Arjuna. Tasmad, therefore, Shastra Pramanam. Take your guidance from Shastra. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Akarya Vyavastito. That the duties you have to do and not do, Karya Vyavastito, Gyatva Shastra Vidhanoktam. By knowing through Shastra, we should know what to do, what not to do. Not through our whimsical mind. But in Kali Yuga, people are in ignorance. Because of excessive attachment to material things and sense gratification, they lost intelligence. So, therefore, there were anomalies. People did not know how to use the form of life. They didn't know how to use this. What is the purpose of government, civilization? They didn't know. So, Vyas had to explain this to them, which he did. Hare Krishna. Any questions?
What the liberated souls, once they liberated, Krishna will take care of that soul, like that he said. So, in that way, means Krishna will act for that liberated soul, or liberated soul act their own. The question is like that.
When Krishna says that he will take, actually he says, I'll provide to them what they lack and protect what they have.
Protection means instructions also given by Krishna.
Okay, maybe you're talking about the Nami Bhakta Pranashriti. Instructions, well, yeah, when Krishna says that, it's not like I'm your friend, I'm your friend. So I'll come tell you that, see, you want to buy something, go there. Krishna comes and tells, okay, do this. It's not like that. Inside, he takes control of mind, intelligence, because someone is surrendered. So we seem to get an idea, but that's a perfect idea. How to spread the mission, what to say, what to do. A perfect idea. Oh, it's a good idea. But Krishna puts that. Otherwise, what ideas we're getting are from Maya. We have to be careful. But one who's surrendered, Krishna says, I'll protect, I'll provide. In the sense that whatever ideas they get direction in their life, Krishna is giving that. Intelligence also he's giving. We query something, I'm having this problem, how do I overcome it? So if we are surrendered to Krishna, he gives superior intelligence, perfect intelligence, how to overcome. In that way, generally people guide their life through intelligence, isn't it? What to do and their mind. So Krishna has taken control of that. Paramatma has taken control. So in that way he guides, protects. So that somehow or other we are in the best position that we should be in that circumstance.
We can realize that Krishna is serving the way, means
you see, even devotees, even in neophyte devotees, they realize something is happening, Krishna's plan. Krishna. Of course, when we are new, we are careless, we forgot something. Oh, Krishna, not Krishna, you're careless, you forgot. Why are you forgetting? But one who is surrendered more and more, you can tell. Then something happened, generally it's Krishna. But even when we are new, we realize Krishna is in control. Krishna is doing everything. So, pure devotees, that comes at early stage of bhakti, that we see. So, pure devotees also, everything is under Krishna. Everything is there. So they're not so much disturbed. They're very careful that they use all the energy and intelligence to serve Krishna. But regarding the outcome, that's up to Krishna. Not attached to the result. That's Krishna. But I must do the endeavor. I must go out and distribute books. I must keep a good sadhana. Be on time, everything on time. Keep the books, stock, everything proper. Now the books are going or not, that's up to Krishna. But I must do my duty.
So once one reporter was asking Prabhupada about Krishna dictating him the books, and the devotee was explaining that from within Paramatma is inspiring him to write. Then Prabhupada stopped him and said, no, Krishna is personally dictating.
Yes.
So then isn't this an example of Krishna, like what he was asking, like personally being there and telling what to do?
Yeah, now in the form of, you're talking about pure devotee. A very pure devotee, generally, like we see in this book of Rasikananda, and Prabhupada did not reveal everything, but they'll be directly speaking with Krishna. Yeah, that's there. Directly they're there. Prabhupada didn't emphasize this much in his teaching of Krishna consciousness, because people become sahajya. And I saw Krishna, Krishna's talking to me, I had a dream, this happened, or I saw someone. But he emphasized the practical part. But that can also be, that's there. Krishna personally telling. But like you see Srila Prabhupada saying, okay, where shall we go now? Let's go to Nairobi. There was a list of places where to spread the movement. Let's go there. So that's perfect intelligence. Krishna's taken control. But now Krishna personally coming, speaking, that will happen. That happens to pure devotees. It's there in Rasikananda. Krishna came, personally spoke to him. That's also. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.